So yeah, so in I think in December-ish, we released the first like public SDK, and I just want to talk a little bit about like plugin management and sort of how this changed over time, right? So when we shipped the initial like version of our SDK, the experience was mostly like optimized for the plugin developer, right? So we shipped the plugin init command that allows you to scaffold a plugin. In the same time, we also like ship the new plugin skill in the MCP that allows you to do the same thing from Claude. Um, but the like installation was always like a little bit manual, right? So if you were installing this plugin, like or if you're distributing this plugin, then your users would have to like clone the repo, run make install, and this would then like install like the plugin in like your home like .pal plugins folder, right? Which is not a great experience for users. For developers, it's fine because you don't really want to like go through the whole publishing process when you're trying out a plugin, but like for distributing it to your users, it's not great. So that's what we kind of did in the last couple of months. So we released two things. We released Orbital, which is here, which is kind of the foundation of like everything else that we're gonna talk about. So that's our own package manager, and these days we ship formae itself and our plugins with Orbital. So you wouldn't really have to interact with or interface with Orbital yourself at all. But that's kind of like the technology behind our hub, right? So you can now go to the hub, the platform, the engineering as like a user, and you can click around and you're gonna see what plugins we have and search and the general kind of package manager experience. But I want to quickly like kind of show first from the developer experience, like how this looks like, and then we kind of go over like how the kind of the user experience looks like for installing these plugins. So as a developer, you can register here. I'm already like logged in here right now. It's very simple, like GitHub auth, like sign up process. And then when you are signed up, you can like create your organization, register your organization, and once you have that, you're good to like register and start publishing plugins. So I already have two organizations here. I'll quickly show you what it looks like. The registration is very simple. All you need is a name, and we need like a domain from you, so like platform.engineering, and then we need some proof that you actually own that domain, right? So if you click next here, what we'll ask you is to like create a DNS record so we can verify that you actually own this domain. And once this is verified, you're good to go and you can start like registering plugins. I'll just quickly show what it looks like from our platform engineering org. So you would basically land here, right? And he will ask you to like create this DNS record. And then like either after some time, we automatically verify this, or you hit the button and you'll be instantly verified. You can add members to your org, right? You can invite them, just like add like or enter like an email address here that is associated with the person's like GitHub that you want to invite, and then they'll receive an email, and you can add them like either as an admin or like as a member of this org. And then when you're there, you can kind of start like registering plugins, right? So here is the plugins we already have in this org. Let me just maybe show first like registering a plugin, how that works. So you hit this button here, and then basically all we need is the GitHub URL where this plugin lives. So I was actually working on a plugin here recently. I'm just gonna copy this one over here and kind of show you what it looks like. Because the key thing is here that you don't have to like enter any sort of like data from the plugin, because the plugin itself is the source of truth for all the metadata of the plugin. So you see all these little logs here, and basically the hub here is reading from your manifest plugin manifest file and taking the data there, so that what we register in the hub is always in sync with this manifest file. Just like the manifest file, for who doesn't know what this is, it lives here in the repo, right? Formae plugin.pickle, and it's basically like generated for you. You don't have to like manually edit this, right? If you do like formae plugin init, then we'll basically ask you for this metadata, right? And this is basically the metadata that kind of ends up in this pickle file. So again, back here, you register this plugin, and then basically your plugin is registered. What we do is we ask you to install a GitHub app in your repo or in your org, and this app is basically listening for tags being published. So it's important to know that like once you register the plugin here, you haven't actually like published a plugin yet. We just are listening for like tags on that repo, and you publish plugins by pushing tags to that repo. Right? And you can push like this regular like Semver tags to the to your repo, and we'll publish this in what we call the stable channel. You can also publish dev tags. So if you're still like testing out your plugin, right, you can push a dev tag, and this will end up in the beta. It's actually the dev channel that we have here. And then when you push a plugin, you'll get some feedback here on the left side, whether like that build is successful, right? Because it builds in our internal build infrastructure. Let's take a look at one. So here actually we do have a build error, and then you can click on that and you can get some more information about like why the build actually failed here. Right, so that is sort of the hub. Let's take a look at what it looks like from a user experience, and when you actually want to install these plugins. Get out of this. So I think it's first important to know that there's different types of plugins, and they're like slightly different in how you install them. There's two types, actually three types. We have like auth plugins, we have resource plugins, and bundle plugins. You won't have to deal with bundle plugins that often, and honestly, auth plugins maybe also not that much. But if you install like formae, right, generally like in a there's two components to it, right? There's the CLI, and then there is the agent. And so like in any production setting, like these are like probably on different machines, you have those things running. And so it's important to know that the resource plugins, so all the plugins we just saw on the hub, the AWS, the Azure, whatever, they are only like required on the agent side. The CLI never needs to know about these plugins. Only the auth plugins, they have like an agent and a CLI component to it. They need to be installed on both. But honestly, we just have one auth plugin right now, and it comes like by default with the agent. So really the important thing to remember here is that if you install plugins, you really only have to do this on the agent side if you run the agent and the CLI on a different machine. So with that, we added like a set of new commands to the CLI to manage these plugins. One caveat here is that right now, Orbital, it does require sudo access for like any read and any write operations. So for this iteration, you still need to sudo like every plugin command besides the plugin init commands. Moving forward, we will be like improving this so that only really the install and the uninstall commands will need sudo access. So yeah, let's take a quick look. So we can now say like sudo formae plugin list, and it should give us if I type in the correct password, a list of installed plugins, right? So it tells me here the resource plugins that are installed. It tells me the auth plugins that are installed. I can search plugins, right? So I can search this auth plugin here, for example, we see it shows up in two packages. So if we wonder what the second one is, this is like kind of the third type of plugin I mentioned, right? And this is our bundle plugin. So I can say like formae plugin info standard to take a look at what this thing is, right? And we can see here, this is a bundle plugin, and this is basically like, the set of plugins we ship every time you install formae. So you don't have to manually install these things yourselves. Let's see other commands. Yeah, then you basically have your like install and uninstall, right? So that's here like uh, Grafana. We don't have it installed right now. Oops. This is how you install a plugin. You do have to restart the agent after installing a plugin. Yeah, and then there is like obviously the uninstall again as well. And you can remove plugins again like that. Um, yeah, so really maybe quick about like where these things land. In the original version, right, when you did the make install, which I like I mentioned is more like a dev experience, these land in your home directory. These ones are not landing in your home directory anymore. They're landing in like your install directory. And this is a root owned directory. That's why we need the sudo here as well. As a developer, you can still like, run the make install command if you're just like doing local development on these plugins. Formae, when it starts up, it will scan both directories. It will install the installation directory and it will install the home directory. The home directory will always be like have precedence. So if you're like developing locally something, it'll always pick that one up and prefer that one over the installed version to kind of like make it easy when you're developing these plugins. Uh, One more thing about installing plugins, and this is if you're like in a Docker-based environment, right? So you're running the agent on ECS, for example. Then you're gonna want to bake these plugins into your Docker files. It's gonna point to sort of like where this is captured. So we do have this in the documentation. There is a section and extending the container image. Because what you want to do um, in the Docker file, basically, you want to run the shell installer to install the plugins. This is kind of because like typically formae on the first like start, it does some initialization, and to kind of like get around all of that, you just use the shell installer that you also use to install formae. Like remember, like all of this is backed by Orbital, so all of this is the same. And so every plugin you want to install, you just like do this in the Docker file here, right? So I can show how this like in our own infrastructure. For example, we have our production formae agent. If GitHub cooperates, and we actually installed two plugins here. We installed a Grafana plugin, and in this case, we actually install one of these like dev plugins published to the dev channel. I was working around with like a test AWS plugin.